it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk and a little mini review on the Centurion Mark 5/1 rack. This is a medium at tier 8 for the Brits, and it's on my 100 battle challenge. I'm at about battle number 93. On most of the 100 battle challenges, I get near the 100 mark or at the 100 mark, I'll put out a kind of mini review or a update or just a consensus, I guess, on the tank, what I thought of it. I'm going to do this one just a little bit early. I've got a decent game I want to show you, not a 5,000 damage game or anything, but I think it highlights some of the possibilities with this tank. And I thought it would be interesting. Plus, it looks really good right now with my win rate being 59%. So even if I go 0-7 to the 100 battles, then we'll just pretend that never happened, right? So I'm sitting at 59% with this thing. Quick setup. I'm running a vert stab, a rammer, and a turbo. I do not have a second setup. I considered doing a kind of vision setup, but I never really got around to it. Kind of forgot about it, really, to be honest. So this is what I ran for most of the 100 battle challenge. And I had a fire directive on there, and I was running food. I did not have a problem with fires on this. I got lit maybe once. I don't know. The Sturv 81s seemed to light on fire more than this, and I don't know why that is. Maybe the modules are slightly different. I ran 20 APCR, 40 standard AP, and then 5 HE. Crew, as you can see, is 4, or on their 4 skill, working on their 5th. They have 4 skills working on their 5th. Pretty decent crew, and it's my Centurion 1 crew. So all these tanks are more or less interchangeable for the Brits at tier 8. So you can run your Centurion crew on all these different... Well, that's not true. I was thinking the Bloody Sturv, but that's actually Swedish. Never mind. Forget that. Forget that. Let's take a look at how I did. Now, I'm going to start using this because this is probably, well, first of all, it's the truth, so I don't have to guess at what I was doing. These are my stats in the last 30 days. So I'm doing the 100 battle challenge. It's about the last 30 days, maybe a little bit more. But for the last 37 battles anyway in the Centurion 5-1, 2,600 win rate and 62% win rate. The Sturv I just finished as well. Interesting, I was running a 2393 with only a 50% win rate. That one I struggled with a little bit. Frags are higher, but the damage ratio is a little bit lower. And in the Sturv, the kills to death is way higher, and survival's at 46%. This one's hard for me to understand. The DPG is more or less the same at 1,500 and 1,544. Just crazy. I really had a couple runs of really bad luck in the Sturv, and I was slightly lower on win 8, but wow, 50%. Anyway, we're talking about the Centurion 5-1, 37 battles. You can see the numbers there. 40% survival, 1,500 DPG, which is actually a little bit lower, I believe, than my average. If we come over here and take a look at my actual stats here, total, it's 93 battles. Since I make Chrome, there we go. 93 battles, 59% overall, over 1,000 XP a game, which is really good at tier 8. That's kind of my goal for most of my about tier 7 through 10s. If I can average 1,000 or close to 1,000 XP a battle, then I feel like I'm doing pretty darn good. 59%, as I said, 38% total survived, 73 on the hits, and the DPG's at 1608. So my damage per game is a little bit lower recently with a little bit better win rate. I managed at one point a 4,000 damage game with 5 kills. So that's kind of what's going on with the 5-1. Now I want to show you the game after we've gone through all that data right there. What does all this give me, the tryhard? And again, I am running Bounty equipment over here. We're getting a 2,342 DPM with a 0.3 dispersion. Fairly accurate gun. Not amazing, but really pretty good, actually. Once you get at the 0.3 break point, 0.3 and below, you're starting to get very accurate. 2.06 aim time, which isn't too bad at all. Minus 10 gun depression is very nice. Survivability is at 1,400 hit points, which is pretty good for a medium. Now here's one I want you to understand on this tank. It's got a really good turret at 254 for a tier 8 medium, all right? For a tier 8 medium. But the whole armor is 121. So it's got some extra armor that the Sturv 81 doesn't have in the Centurion. So he's kind of the more heavily armored cousin of these guys. More or less everything else is the same. Some slight differences here and there with some of the numbers. But I'm telling you that 121 on the whole, when you start angling it or going against some of the lighter guns and things, it just works out much better. And I'll show you that on this battle. So I think that really speaks a little bit to this tank's ability to stick around in the game. Although, strangely, as you remember in the stats I just looked at, The Sturv I was surviving 40%, 46% of the time, and the Centurion 40% of the time, and the difference in 12% win rate, which that should actually be swapped. Very strange. Maybe I was camping in my Sturv. I don't know. The mobility with the turbo gets this thing zipping around at 55. Generally, I find the Centurions to be a bit sluggish, but you chuck that Bounty turbo on there and you get up to 55, and that's pretty zippy. Now, its power to weight's a little low, so it takes a while for it to get up to that speed. It's not horrible at 21, but it's not great either. But once it gets going, not bad at all. Concealment at 22, which is okay, and my view range with the way it's set up is at 450, so that is at the max, but only by about 5, not about 5, by 5 meters. So there's a little extra burn through for you right there. You could set up a vision setup if you had a map like Malinovka or Proc or something like that. That would be very easy to do. Chuck some optics, maybe even a CVS on there potentially, or something like that for a vision setup. I just didn't bother. All right, let's check out this game. All right, the battle is here on Mountain Pass, and for a wonder, I actually had a decent game on Mountain Pass. I do struggle at times with this one. I do okay on it, but I never feel like I'm actually just completely dominating. And again, I wouldn't say I was dominating here either, but I have a pretty decent game. So we spawn into the northwest right here, and I'm going to go to the middle. One of the things good players like about fast tanks in general, and medium tanks in particular, because a light tank's very fast, and some of the really light skin TDs and things can be very fast, but they don't have a whole lot of staying power, especially in terms of lights. They just don't hit very hard. They don't have a lot of armor. They don't have a lot of staying power. Mediums have a bit of a combo of some of the heavy stuff and some of the light stuff together. So they're able to move around the map, hit decently hard, or at least have good DPM in the case of this tank right here, because the alpha's not great. And then they can reposition and get around the map very quickly, so good players like that capability. If you can have a little bit of armor and some good maneuverability and an accurate, decent gun, you've got something going on in this game, and you can leverage that. So we're going to come to the middle. This is not me trying to show you some kind of a new thing. Everybody knows about this. By the way, this map's going to change in the near future with the patch, and this action right here is going to go away, which I think is a good thing, because people get trashed trying to cross. Look at this poor Tiger One. He's like, maybe no one sees me. No, everyone sees you, dude. Sorry. And he he just gets walloped. I might have snuck one more shot, but I think he got behind the ground right there before I would have even got that off. So we're going to talk about this thing's capability to kind of reposition and affect the battle in different places. This is a relatively small map, but it's very canalized, which means if you do need to switch to another side, you generally have to take the long route, or you can go through the middle dip, which is kind of dangerous. So I sat there, not kind of dangerous, very dangerous. I sat there looking for shots and nothing else was happening. And then I was sort of wondering if the BZ-176 was going to cross or make a move or something. When I spawned in and looked at the enemy team, I went, we don't have a great answer for the BZ. I mean, maybe the Basante can tear him up a bit. We're going to have to work on him from long range or try to swarm him, the standard thing. And we don't have any arty to rely on to maybe kill him when he's low hit points. So we're just going to have to keep working on this dude. I noticed R122 made a really aggressive move down the tracks. And while I don't think that's an awesome move in general, it does provide an opportunity for me to reposition from the middle over to the, did I say tracks? Over to the bridge. Reposition over to the bridge and maybe get some shots, especially if the enemy team gets a little spicy and wants to push and try to take out the 122. And that's generally why people do what he's doing. So I see the Bulldog coming in, and I'm thinking, all right, let's just start pounding on him. And I miss. Oh, okay. So much for the accurate gun, right? The BZ is more interested in getting out the 122. So that gives me some opportunities now to take some relatively unmolested shots. I'm kind of worried about that 750 heat round coming out of the ISU there. And then I'm watching the poor 122 getting beat up by the Bulldog, and I miss. So that was kind of a bad shot. And now we're going to try to take this dude out. Oh, doesn't quite get him. There we go. And now the BZ, he has a long aim time and a long reload. Unfortunately, didn't quite get him. So I'm going to sit here now. I'm going to pull back. I know I've been seen for a while. I'm not worried about arty because there isn't any. That spot gets bombed by arty if arty is in the game. So I'm going to pause for a second. It looks like the 122 has the BZ proxy lit, so I'm not worried about him going away. I want to go dark. And maybe he gets a little bit worried about the 122 or even tries to push him, and we can start working on the guy. You'll notice that I have dab 2, of course, because I'm trying to go through the front of a heavy like the BZ-176. Meanwhile, the south is doing okay, the north's doing okay, so we can continue to work on this guy. I sneak one into the lower plate corner there, and he doesn't like that anymore, so he gets himself some cover from me. That was probably never going to pen. Looking for a track or annoyance or whatever. I'm trying to get into the top of his turret because the top of that thing's turret's fairly weak, but it's blocked a little bit by the dead bulldog sitting there. And now we see the SU take a shot at him but miss him. Now I can easily pin him, so I'm going to prioritize that dude and try to get shots on the SU and clear him out so that he's no longer helping the 122. Thank goodness he missed. I did not want to get hit by that. And check it out, the 122 got the BZ-176, and now we're looking like we're in pretty good shape. Alright, so I went to the middle, looked for some shots, was able to maneuver over here. Yes, that wasn't a very far maneuver, noted. But now we're going to move into the bridge area, and I'm looking to get side shots on these guys. Now when I'm pushing up here, I know there's a Lurva, a 122, and a 103. The 122, our 122, is looking to shoot these guys in the back. They are being stopped by our own KB3, which is in trouble, and a Caernarvon, which this calculus changes pretty quick when I come around the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, there's other guys here. Look at that armor. He hit the front of it. That's fantastic. We'll take the shot on him because I could tell the super was going to get behind cover. And I wasn't going to get a shot. We'll snap one off on him. That worked. Another bounce. We'll take it. Alright. I am inside the Super Hellcat's reload. Which means I'm going to push out. And I may eat the Super Hellcat shot, but I also have a reasonable expectation of bouncing it because my front armor is decent. I'm going to take this opportunity to put a shot in the side of the 103. He knows it. He's looking. The Hellcat doesn't come. And then unfortunately, now there's a Baraska in the middle. But thank goodness he only got a track. And we'll back out and think about this. So I'm going to hang out here. Unfortunately, I am proxy lit by the 1375. It's possible I could come out and try to shoot the Baraska, but he's around the corner. That would expose me to the 103. I also know there's a Hellcat. Nothing here is a good poke, really. Probably eat a shot from the Hellcat if I go look for it. I might take a shot from the 103. They're all going to know I'm coming because I am proxy lit by the 1375. I'm also concerned now about what's going on over here. The 122 and the Lurva are pushing the Caernarvon. So we're watching multiple directions here, and I'm thinking, all right, well, this was fine. I like that I got here. I got some more damage. It doesn't appear that anybody's coming up the middle across this bridge right now. In any event, the 122 is there for the moment. I'm thinking, well, can I get one more shot? No. I really didn't want to get out there and get hit. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We now have guys up on the ridge, tearing up these guys down here. And I'm concerned about the two dudes that are pushing the cap, and they're kicking the snot out of our Caernarvon. So let's do that medium thing. Put the Bounty Turbo to a little bit of good use here, and we will just cruise back. And what I want to do, my friends, is I want to get back here to this hold down spot, and I'll show it to you when we get there, so I can fight the Lurva and the 122 as they cross this open area. If they want to come to the cap, I'm going to get multiple shots, if I can get there first. It was now that I noticed, and shame on me, I should have earlier. I don't know what I would have done exactly with the info, but I didn't realize the T-92 was AFK. Good news is he's going to light them up. And check it out. They're going to spend some time shooting this guy. Let's see if the Lurva stops as well. He does. So fantastic. Both of those guys take time to stop, and they're starting to shoot the free experience and hit points right there. That gives me a little extra time to get a little bit further into the hold down spot, and now they have a longer drive to come take me out. So we'll just take the shot on him. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nice fast reload, good turret. I consider the Lurva to be more dangerous, at least at this moment, and also is a two-shot. Now, he was blocked by the 122, so I'll just take the shot I'm afforded right there. I'm now 3 shots into being able to kill all 3 of these. I might get a high roll 260, but I'm assuming 3 shots, provided no bounces and such. So we're just going to keep working the hold down spot here. He didn't like that much. Okay. A little bit lucky, man. I was a little worried the 122 was going to come in and bounce the shot, and he might have even been trying to block it, but I'm able to sneak that shot in there with one of my last 2 APCR rounds, and now we've got 260. I can be a little bit less careful right now with the 122 because we're winning in every direction at this point. But I don't want to lose to a 260 hit point 122. So I'm going to try to sneak in here and get one shot onto his lower plate. Didn't quite get there, but it didn't matter. Now I'm just going to clear myself away a little bit from that hold down spot. He's sort of coming out. He's going to do the wiggle jiggle, good on him, and we'll get into his lower plate and we'll finish that guy off with 3,212. Good number. 3 kills, 560 bounce, and 812 assist on, where are we again? Mountain Pass. Himmel's Mountain Pass Dorf. So, medium, maneuverability, reacting to the flow of the game, paying attention to where tanks are, where my tanks are, where theirs are going. I used a relatively small part of the map, and probably a heavy could do the same thing, but the point remains of reacting to it. And with a little bit of speed on this one, I was able to get over to this spot before they got in, and a little help from my AFK friend, who is... What the... Did he move? Oh, he came alive. That's like... That is some ninja stuff, dudes. I thought he popped smoke. I'm like, where did the dead T-90... He just bailed on me? That's why I like replays, man. That is absolutely fantastic. Before we... Well, whatever. You heard me talk about all that. Let's see what happened to her. Is he still there now? No, he's completely bailed. Okay, so... I mean, honestly, that is one of the best things I have seen in a long time on a replay. Where's he going? Does he think the game just started? He goes and spots the middle, and then he comes around. He's like, "Okay, I guess I'll go to the road." No, oh, there's a fight going on back at the. That is absolutely amazing. Dude spawns in. I absolutely love that. That is absolutely amazing. Who, Andre CSDIG provided the LG, whatever it is, provided that's not an anonymous name. Good on you, dude. Thanks for showing up. Oh, that's not him. Never mind. It's TWS 99A. Sorry, Andre. Sorry, Andre. You're the man in your E25. I'm talking about TWS 99. Here he comes back again. What does he do? Maybe he thought I was going to lose. Maybe he's like, oh, that noob. That noob is absolutely going to lose. All right, guys, so there you go. That's my my spiel for reacting to the battle. The nice thing about having a relatively mobile tank, whatever it is, whatever kind of tank it is. I do like the 5-1. I had a good time in it, did pretty well in it. Like I said, even if I lose 7 in a row, I'll never tell you anyway, so let's just pretend I stayed at 59%. I'll tell you if it's a lot better. How about that? All right, that's our deal. If I go 0-7, we won't speak of it again. If I increase to 60% or more, I'll brag about it. Is that a deal? All right, that's a deal. Also, that was fantastic, TWS. I haven't had a good laugh like that for a while. That's all I got. We will see ya.